Let me explain and give my first impressions on the signature move of Sabalenka in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. On the 10th of December 2025, the signature move of Aryna Sabalenka has been made available for players in Tennis Clash. Let me explain quickly how it works and give my first impressions on that signature move. If you have the signature move of Sabalenka, and if you hit the marked target on the opponent's side of the court, your next stroke is going to be a critical shot, no matter the stroke type. So whether you hit a forehand stroke, a backhand stroke, or a volley stroke, it's going to be a critical shot. What increases with the signature move level of Sabalenka is the critical power, or how faster the ball will go. It doesn't affect the stroke power itself. What may be causing confusion to players is the critical stroke power indication in the Tennis Clash signature move description screen. But we are really talking about the ball speed here, not about a classic stroke power gain, like for the signature move of Meili or of Naomi Osaka, for example. It means that if Sabalenka does not use a string having the critical attribute with the signature move level 1, she will hit a critical shot which goes 10% faster than a normal shot, a shot which is not a critical one. With the signature move level 2, she will hit a critical shot which goes 15% faster than a normal shot. With the signature move level 3, she will hit a critical shot which goes 20% faster than a normal shot. With the signature move level 4, she will hit a critical shot which goes 30% faster than a normal shot. And finally, with the signature move level 5, Aryna Sabalenka will hit a critical shot which goes 40% faster than a normal shot. I remind you that the tier of strings having the critical attribute does not change the ball's speed. The higher tier of the critical attribute only increases the probability of triggering a critical shot. In comparison, Mark is making balls go 20% faster when his skill triggers a critical shot without using a string having the critical attribute. So the speed boost that you get with the signature move level 3 of Sabalenka is what you can get with the skill of Mark II, except that you have 100% chance to trigger the critical shot after having hit the marked target with the signature move of Sabalenka, while Mark's critical shot is triggered randomly by his skill without guarantee. Let me remind you that whenever you hit a critical shot using a string having the critical attribute, the ball will go 30% faster. And you should also know that the signature move of Sabalenka stacks with strings having the critical attribute. It means that after activating the signature move by hitting the marked target, the next shot of Sabalenka, if she has the level 1 of signature move, will be a critical one which goes 10% faster than a normal shot. And those 10% are boosted by critical strings. And given that all strings having the critical attribute allow you to hit the ball 30% faster when you trigger a critical shot, it means that with the signature move level 5 of Sabalenka, whenever she uses a string having the critical attribute and hits a marked target, her next stroke is guaranteed to be a critical shot which will make the ball go 70% faster, 40% thanks to her signature move level, 5 plus 30% thanks to her string having the critical attribute. That is impressive and very helpful, obviously, to win the point. Don't forget that Sabalenka also has a random 4% stroke power gain boost with her skill activated randomly during the first 2 strokes of any rally for the serve or the forehand. It means that Sabalenka can hit very fast balls compared to other legends and champions thanks to her high forehand stat, which can be boosted by her skill and thanks to the speed boost offered by her signature move activation. Fortunately, the ball speed boost given by her signature move lasts only 1 shot, so players can still try and return the critical shots of Sabalenka with long catch tier 3 and forehand counter strings like the Wimbledon 2024 string, for instance, provided they are not too far from the ball's footprint, meaning its contact spot on court. However, you can see that it is far from easy to hit the marked target for Sabalenka. Very often, the marked targets are small. So many attempts can be required before hitting a marked target. And even when they seem to have a medium size, which is apparently easier to hit, they are still not that easy to hit. Besides, trying to hit the marked targets at all costs may prevent you from playing your normal game. Indeed, the marked target is often placed at very unnatural spots of the court, which is not good for an efficient hitting pattern, meaning that if you try to win the point as fast as possible, you will not try to hit where the marked targets are placed most of the time. I think that it is still better to deploy your usual game plan and to use your usual hitting pattern and to only try to hit a marked target when it is close to the spot you would normally hit even if you were playing without having Sabalenka's signature move. In short, I don't recommend you adopt a different hitting pattern than usual just because you want to try and hit the marked target. Absolutely. What I just said may seem even more relevant if you notice that if you play your usual game, you can still win easily if you have better statistics, even without hitting the marked targets. In many rallies of matches versus opponents having lower statistics or good hand stats, but using a string having a lower quality or the same quality than yours, the Sabalenka signature move activation does not help as the critical shot would be triggered when the rally already ended. Sometimes the signature move is activated, but you can only hit with your hand having the lower stat. So the critical shot is going faster but will not be strong anyway because it is not hit with your best hand. That makes me think that Sabalenka players should try and activate their signature move only when they play versus opponents having similar or better stats and using good special strings, especially when they play in tour. When players try to get the perfect score in the tournament, it's even more important not to try and hit the marked targets at all costs because doing so will expose Sabalenka to a high risk of being overwhelmed by overly powerful shots and subsequently to the loss of the point. Indeed, if the player using Sabalenka tries to hit the marked targets, he will have a higher chance doing so by slowing the swipe and by reducing the shot power, but doing so means that he will not try to outflank the opponent with powerful shots. Then it means that the opponent can find Sabalenka shots too soft and would easily return much stronger shots, making it harder for Sabalenka to counter them, losing progressively any good momentum built by previous powerful strokes. In short, reducing the stroke power just because you try to hit the marked targets can be very risky. I would recommend you keep hitting powerful shots, and if you can hit a marked target while hitting hard, it's even better. But if you can't, then just keep hitting powerful shots like you usually do without taking into account the marked target. In my opinion, it would have been better for fun if the opponent does not see your marked target on his side of the court. There is no more surprise effect if the opponent can guess where you are going to try and hit when you play with Sabalenka having the signature move. The opponent can anticipate that the Sabalenka player will try and hit the marked targets, then move nearer to them in advance. However, Sabalenka players can also decide to make the opponent think that they are going to hit some marked targets but finally hit somewhere else. That could be pretty unsettling for the opponent too, to not know if you are going to try and hit a marked target or not. That's a tactic you can test. Also, if the critical is guaranteed, it means that you can take whatever string having the critical attribute to play with. It will still give the 30% speed boost. That means you can take critical tier 1 strings like Punisher Gut or Siberian Wire. They will give you the 30% speed boost with the lowest cost compared to premium special strings as they are regular strings. Finally, I think that volley players could try and counter the shots of Sabalenka before that they reach the marked target by volleying, thus making her signature moves activation much harder. I think especially about the low serve, high agility, high volley stats lineup with Ingrid. If that lineup uses a good FH counter having also long catch and stamina shield like the Wimbledon 2024, it would be very hard for Sabalenka to activate her signature move. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this explanation and first impressions video about the Sabalenka signature move in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the bell to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support. See you on the court.